Okay, hopefully it's working. All right, so with the new 2.0 notes, let's go to those real quick. So we already know the kind of creature that Acro is. It's a apex diurnal creature that usually works in trios, but with our new 2.0 notes, with acting as an elder, we'll begin to start to see just 2.0 acros and duos. We find that trios become too cumbersome and require too much energy to maintain. We get hungry quicker, especially when you compare them to Rex. We don't have as big of a belly. Now, elder acros do not mind solitude, and should we no longer have or desire a mate, we can take our time in doing so. We do prefer that other acros who are not high maintenance or too energetic, and we might take longer periods between nesting to recover. So say the usual nesting limit in wet season is once every 24 hours. So instead, you would maybe wait a little longer, say maybe an extra day or so, depending on how you want to play that out. Same with dry season. It's 2 days, maybe you'd wait 3 or 4 days. Now, as elders, we do enjoy more easy meals, and we are incredibly patient in search of them. So we prefer weak, ill, or young creatures, though we might engage in large-scale hunts on occasion. However, these are few and far between, and often when they are in desperate need of food. So say if we got the chance to go after an adult versus one of their offspring, we might go after their offspring as long as they're going to provide a meal for us, right? Because it'll be the path of less resistance and we won't injure ourselves. They don't run as fast usually either, and they don't hurt as much. Now, when it comes to spawn gores, we may not ignore spawn gore in line of sight unless our target is vulnerable. Do you guys know what it means when it uses the word vulnerable? I want to see if everyone knows this. A beach sea monster, yep, so being out of your element. What else? Limping. Let me double check that real quick. Anything else? Yep, growth storm buff. Yep, if you got that icon and something is out in the open, not in a cave, you can hunt that. Let's see, so vulnerable, so anything in the ocean is considered vulnerable, and aquatics on land are known as being vulnerable. And limping is included, yes, I see the word limping here. Along with sickness, if you smell them and it shows the sickness icon, that would be considered being vulnerable. And like we discussed, being outside in growth storms, usually this allows creatures to hunt with nearby spawn gores, regardless of schedule. However, this is different for Acro, as we know. Acro and Rex have a note nullifying this, where they have to still hunt in their schedule. And if, I just read it, we can't ignore the spawn gore if something is outside in a growth storm, etc. Does anyone have any questions about the 2.0 notes? Still be as inclined to chase and eat a Rex. Yes, that is quite an ingrained part in their profile, and none of the 2.0 notes state that they no longer will go after Rexes. Maybe they won't do it as, maybe they won't be as risky, so maybe you'll have a further distance between each other. So say Jinx is a Rex, I'm going to stay probably all the way over here and yell and scream and move her territory markers here and there and mess with her, scream at her from all the way over here, and not risk my booty, because my body's old and decrepit. I don't want to fight the Rex, but I still want to show that I still got game. I'm still big and bad, you know? So would they ignore a spawn gore if a Rex is bumping into you? Well, it says in these 2.0 notes, Acros won't ignore a spawn gore in line of sight unless their target is vulnerable, so the Rex has to be vulnerable. Yeah, the Rex would have to bite first. Thing is, why would the Rex be biting first if there's a spawn gore? So maybe if you're challenging each other? Perhaps? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Yep. So if you're challenging each other, then yeah. Thing is, why would an Acro accept a challenge from a Rex? Because we're not territorial, right? Over food? Okay, so then the spawn gore doesn't matter if you're fighting over food, right? If there's a second gore. But yeah. Were there any other questions, perhaps? I do wish there was a mechanic to slow walk, like some other games, like the Isle and Path of Titans, but sadly you can't do that. So I would say as an elder, when you're trying to mimic, like, being a little slower, I would say trying to go uphill slower, so maybe tapping on your key once in a while going up. Or maybe you want to play out, oh, I got bad hips now or something, and I'm achy, so I'm going to kind of walk with a mock limp, so to speak. You can always do that to play it out. Say you're traveling to a new hunting area as Acro, maybe you're going to take more rests. At certain places, maybe just take a sit, count for 30 seconds and stand back up. These are just suggestions. They're not rules, just acting suggestions. Does anyone possibly have any other suggestions they can think about to help your fellow actors that you've thought about with acting out old age? As I take a bite of my dinner. Yeah. Yeah, very good idea. Yeah. Scratching yourself against things more, you got itchy skin, that's good. Chasing prey, maybe you give up sooner. Yeah, very good idea. Taking more baths to soak aching bones. Yeah, that would be perfect. Those are all good ideas. And taking more naps, 100%. If everyone's confident on the elder notes and how to act as an elder, we'll go ahead to courting and reproduction, because I know that's always an advanced part in the profile here. If you have questions, try to hold it until the end, unless I ask if you have a question about a certain thing we just went over. So when we are walking around looking for a mate, we're still going to try to focus on remaining undetected, unless, of course, you're female and you've caught whiff of a male nearby. But otherwise, we're trying to remain undetected while we're roaming, and we're constantly grooming ourselves. So sometimes maybe I'll have a little nibble at my feet or something, or if I'm sitting down, maybe I'll just do a little shaky shake here and there, brush up on some rocks by moving my head up and down or crouching down and trying to motion that I'm scratching, etc. Trying to make sure I'm being undetected, washing off my scent. Maybe I got really sweaty armpits. I'm just gonna wash them off right here, get a little scrub-a-dub, and then I'm good to go. Now, of course, a true way to kind of remain undetected is while you're in certain areas, maybe trying to sneak around more, so that obviously you can't be sniffed as well. Taking areas where you're hidden, so like if I'm gonna travel to the snowy mountain up there, instead of walking just straight through this open area here, I'm gonna try to take a way along the rocks, through the trees, through the forest, instead of taking the usual path, the open path. So I want to remain undetected. I want to see something before they see me. Now, when it comes to females, they do become irate and brazen as the time between broods increases. And when they can no longer deny their urges, of course, females will screech loudly and ceaselessly in a clearing to draw potential male to them. She rolls around on the ground to show vulnerability, foregoing grooming in an effort to communicate her intentions and becoming increasingly desperate until her needs are fulfilled. So, a way to obviously do this is to just be broadcasting, and then laying down, rolling, getting back up. I'm probably going to take a look around, sniff, oh, no male yet, and scream again. And keep doing that for a little bit until my female gets tired. I'm like, nope, okay, no males around. Guess I was mistaken. I'll go somewhere else, and they'll roam off somewhere else. Now, should a lucky male, however, find her, he'll kind of survey her from a distance until he can ascertain her intentions. So, a male that's interested in a female shouldn't normally go straight up to her face to face, right? He should be surveying her from a distance, seeing if her true intentions are that she is ready to take on a mate, and he will also assess her, see if she's healthy, and once he's kind of ascertained, okay, she seems healthy, and also I can tell 100% she will be willing to take a look at me, slowly you will approach her with your head low. And in Acro language, this is how you kind of show a little bit of dominance and like, hey, look at my crest colors. I am powerful. Look at my big head. And she's going to be able to see his size and color. So he's going to really make a point to really like exclaim that. And of course, ways to do that is to like, look at the sky, look at how tall you are, listen to how loud you are. I'm gonna scream. I want to scream. Be like, look at me. Now, when it comes to her noticing you and she's okay with you approaching her and you didn't scare her away and she's not running away with her tail between her legs, then you will approach her slowly with your head down. And what you're going to do is you're going to touch noses as you sniff each other. And then you'll vocalize softly, so this means a to call, as you assess each other's strength. Now, should I already have a mate with me, then that female will survey from afar and she will avoid involvement. Now, rejection of his advances is met with a nip from the female only giving him a moment or two to retreat before chasing him away if she doesn't accept him. However, if the two are instead interested in each other, they both will roar loudly, so with a broadcast, and then hissing and screeching, which would be a 3 call, as you begin to circle. So very similar to like a Rex intimidation display that we're all have very well ingrained in our bodies. I would do a broadcast, and then I would do a 3 call to indicate, all right, we're going to do this. You're going to look at me. I'm going to look at you. We're going to see how powerful we are. See if we're going to be a good match. And probably I would eat Holly, but right now I'm just going to pretend Holly is an adult. So yes, if this thing approached me and tried to court me, I don't believe this would be a good fit. It would not be a good fit. I'm going to bite the air as well. Now, after some time, if I'm seeing that, okay, she's looking pretty strong, but now I'm going to test her, I'm going to get in her face. And I'm going to bite near her and see if she's going to submit. Because otherwise, a male is not going to take a female if she does not submit. What I've done is I've given her a nice bite, and then I leave her as a sign of, nope, not a good fit. Does anyone have any questions? Careful with hitboxes. Yeah. That's completely okay to give a nip, though. Should males be hiding while assessing from a distance? You don't have to necessarily be hiding. Maybe the female should be somewhat hiding, but when it comes to the male assessing a female, I would still have my presence known. And I would see if I can watch her, like, say I happen upon her when she's hunting something, and the hunt finishes, then I'm going to wait and see if she is receptive to courting or not. Kind of thing, you know? Or maybe, yeah. You also got to make sure there's not another male around, right? So you got to be looking around long enough to make sure there's not another man that's going to be in your way, right? That would be a little awkward. Now, going back, so say the female submits, she shrieks in return. If she supplements her hostile facade with submissive posturing and her display was sufficient, he will turn from her with a friendly chuff, so probably a 2 call, where it is her turn to impress him. During this time, she will stay 1 close to him, albeit always behind. When fully satisfied with her presentation of food over a long time, the male will mate with her to solidify their bond. So don't forget, after you do that, the circling and you accept each other, you still have to do one more thing. You have to ensure that you're satisfied with her being able to provide food. And once she does that, then they solidify their bond. And that's when you make the nesting post, and then you can group up if this is your first time grouping. Now from there, the female will work very hard to maintain the male's interest by ensuring he is the first to eat and rearing young. And of course, in return, he will serve as a guardian and ferocious defender, traveling with the family from behind to ensure none are left behind. Then from here on out, she determines the time to mate, engaging in courtship behaviors again to persuade her companion. The two remain together until the eggs hatch, at which point the female takes the lead with child rearing. So please do remember that important note, it's the female that decides when courting happens. It is not the male. He should not be bullying her into starting to court. It will be up to the female. Now, while males tend not to scrap for mates, females will. He is liberal with expressing his displeasure, but is otherwise slow to anger. A male seeks the strongest female to help perpetuate his legacy, and therefore he does not intervene when it comes to females vying for his attention. Does anyone want to play out how females would vie for attention from their male to try to become his favorite? What are some ways to do that? Would you say maybe picking on the other female? Yep. Providing more food than the other female?
It's a really good pistol.
And making her offspring seem stronger. Yep. Make sure your baby's got more food and they're growing stronger than the other babies. Making sure she's clean, yep, and cleaning him. Okay, that's all very good. Now, should a male happen upon a group of sisters, and he has no other female, courting proceeds in a different manner after a male makes himself known. The females, eager to establish themselves as the dominant one, will begin to roll around on the ground together to slowly inch towards the male. They will coo excessively, so to call, in an attempt to placate the male. Should one sister accidentally touch the other sister while they're scooting their way towards the male, the encroached upon sister quickly roars and snaps to push back her sibling. So you want to be the one that's keeping the space. If you accidentally touch your sibling might get the upper hand and be seen as the stronger one, as they will snap back, and the male will see that and think, oh, she's the more dominant one. Just from what he's seeing, right? Now, as they're encroaching, if he approves of them, he will sniff both of them, and the females will instantly enter into a hissing and screeching squabble. So just like the male and female does, if there's two sisters, instead it's going to be between the two sisters. And once they go over this squabble, say one doesn't back down and be submissive, the male might lose interest, then leaving the two females to be without a mate again, and the females being stuck with each other. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? I know that's always been something that was people were unsure about, is when you're sisters, which doesn't happen often. What if you accidentally run into a female and she isn't broadcasting or being obvious about mating? I would wait a little bit, give a little time. Maybe show yourself, let her know that you're there, and kind of wait to see if she's going to show any signs. See if there's a male. If not, you're going to wait. The male isn't going to force her to come into season. He's going to have to wait for her to be ready. Can you remind me how the male shows they are receptive to the female's advances? When it comes to the sisters, or just in general to one female? Mooney, the sisters. Let's see. So, if he approves of them, he'll sniff both of them. And then the females will enter into a hissing and screeching squabble. And if one doesn't back down, he's probably going to lose interest. And therefore, he's probably not going to choose those females. And in the end, that dominance ranking is only going to be temporary. You can always fight your way back to be the more dominant looking or favorite or more healthy, stronger one. You're not set in stone to always be the least favorite female. Yes, yes. Are there any other questions? Because the last thing we can do is go over Rex and Acro interactions. I can always go over another part of profile too, as I do have a little time. I've only been talking for about 25 minutes, it looks like. So you have questions on any other part of the profile, I'm free to go ahead and answer those. And then while we're waiting to make sure no one has a question and isn't typing, who wants to be our Rex that's going to get picked on? Canine? Nominate Otter. Hey, we can do both. But we should go ahead and kind of clear out a spot, or have all of us that are sitting in this spot kind of move to the side or under the shelter, maybe out of the way. Who wants to be Acno? Do you want to showcase what you know and what you would do if you're encountering a Rex? Yeah, this will give you a chance to show off, and I can write some cool acting notes on you. So if we want, we can do a 2-on-2, so we can pretend Otter and Canine are mates, and whoever wants to act as Acno's mate can go ahead, go by their side if they feel confident in showing off their acting skills. Okay. Move the tree. Okay, and if you like, I can go over this really quick. So, Acros can hunt Rexes at any time of day. So everyone knows this, right? That's the only time you don't have to follow your schedule, right? Now, that being said, usually these two, because they're always vying for a lot of food, are fighting over resources, prey, good areas, hunting areas. Of course, Rexes, they tend to actually hold a territory. Meanwhile, Acros are always moving and looking for a better spot to go and remain undetected. However, Acros still want to kind of be a little bit of a bully and grab a Rex's territory markers, which we've got some right here by the Rexes, if you so dare to grab those, or you can grab ones from the side here to kind of showcase that you're showing them, I'm faster than you, I'm stronger than you, you can't catch me, look at me, kind of thing. I want you to go ahead and go into a screaming match, and then see the Acros just messing with the Rexes a little bit. Now, after doing a little bit of a screaming and antagonizing the Rexes, moving their territory markers around, and you see, hey, that guy's not very big, and I'm much bigger. I can take him on. And you know what? I'm kind of hungry. So what they would do is, if they don't have a carcass to push them off of and bully them off of, they will hunt them if they have the advantage, be it either they have the size or they have the numbers, right? We often toy with the Rexes before delivering the mortal blow. So what do you think that entails? That's probably going to entail hit and run tactics, right? out healing the Rex, giving them a nibble, haha, bite them on the tail, you can't catch me, and run away. Right? Of course, it's a very scary game. But, albeit, that was my face. Oh, your poor face. I'm so sorry. Does anyone have any questions possibly about how to act around Rexes as acros? So I really want to see first you sizing them up, right? I want to see that you're kind of getting close enough to where, how big is it? Still keep a little distance. How big is it? Mess with their markers. Am I able to take this on? Scream at it. I want to see that more. And then, if you notice, gosh, that guy's really big. I'm gonna freaking hightail it out of here. See ya. But not without disrupting some more markers on your way out, right? Shh. Sorry. It's like, and take this, and take that. And I'm gonna take this tree. Does anyone have any questions about that? I know, how will you ever live without your tree? You grew up with it ever since the day you were born. That tree was there, rooted in the ground, and that acro came and pulled it out, ripped out one of your precious memories. That was a little too far, but you know what I mean. That is a very good thing. I would say, yeah, leave bones around. And when you see them, move them around. Because Rexes like to leave bones laying around their territory, right? That's a good idea. Because we all know you're not forced to eat spawn carcasses if you don't want to. Or you can take a little nibble if you want and leave it. You don't have to claim it. So you can very well play that out. Put stinky carcasses near their den. Maybe, but seaweed in that den. They might like that, I don't know. I mean, I would say, yeah, I don't see what would stop a Rex from ambushing an acro child with its parents there. However, it should assess beforehand, can it take on the parents if it wants to have the food, right? Because then you got to worry about, well, the parents are going to be very angry, and they're probably not going to give up that corpse right away, right? Even if it is of their child. But you can always say you made a lapse in judgment in how big they were. Maybe you couldn't get a good view. Maybe you didn't know there was 2 Rexes, only saw 1 adult, and you killed a baby. Yeah, you can kill a baby anytime. Are there any other questions before we go ahead and end the class here? Because that's all we were going to really talk about. I don't see any PTs, but normally PTs would be the ones to clean us up. Thought we were going to do a little bit. Yeah, people, if you want, as long as you're a Rex and Acro, you can go ahead and duel. If you ask kindly if you want to do a little duel as Acro and Acro, If a Rex doesn't want to fight, that is totally fine. I just don't want anyone to die. Yes, no murder, please. I'll move out of the way here. I'll give you about 5 to 10 minutes if you want to duel each other to kind of get the feel. If this makes you more confident. Oh, let me move out of the way. You can't meat shield me! Get away! I don't want to be bitten. Now with acros being kind of endurance hunters, hit and runners, being witty and smart, playing it patient, when it comes to Rex, does anyone have any tips for Rexes on fighting an acro? What are some ways another female would go about trying to kill the other female's offspring? Cry and die. Well, let's see. Let me go to that section. Let me see how well it goes into this part here. Now, a female may attempt to kill or eat the other's offspring to make her caniport look like a terrible mother. She presents the body to her mate in an effort to make him yell and snap at the other partner. So, when I'm reading this, you're trying to indicate the other female is a bad mother. So, maybe you can try to do it, out of line of sight of the male so he doesn't know what caused the death of the baby. Maybe so that he'll think, oh, it died of sickness or something, and you show the body to him. He'll think, wow, you're not a fit mother, so this female is going to be your favorite, or maybe eventually he won't want that female in his trio anymore. Who knows? Yeah, someone is usually a babysitter, and that also gives you a chance. Yeah, the healing is crazy. Yeah, honestly, to eject a female from a trio, if you don't find her fit anymore, I honestly would, as any usual occurrence in evicting someone, I would be 3-calling them. And I would probably try to let them know as well that they are being evicted, and it's not anything like against them, it's just RP reasons and for profile. How dare you? My tail is so long! Why is my tail so long? This is what would be the death of me in a Rex fight. One day. Now Rexes, you don't give the acro space, or you don't allow them the chance to do hit and run, right? So you can try to hightail it to a corner here, like inside here. As an acro, I am not fighting a Rex that is in here. I'm going to move some more markers and then just leave him alone. Or if he's in a cave, I'm probably not going to mess with him in there. Maybe just from the outside looking in. So that is your best friend as a Rex. Is being at your den, or being near, you know, some shelter or being in a tight space. Also, having your ambush ability, because yeah, Rexes have their ability, but you have your own. You need to use that speed to be able to catch an acro as soon as it's leaving you and it's trying to do hit and run tactics, right? So that's probably what a Rex is going to do in a Rex versus acro situation. But I won't go into any more further detail because then I feel like I'm giving you combat tips for PvP server when that's not what we are. But just trying to give you confidence in fighting each other. So I want to see this more. You don't always have to kill each other. But it's the poor otter. No, I don't. Mooney, that is beautiful. What a gentleman pose. That should be in trope profile on how you approach the ladies and show off. That's how you court. I would love that. That would be adorable. Not gonna lie. I would play trope just for that. Rate everyone's male-female skins? What? I could never. But not gonna lie, Marrmalade is looking really pretty and standing out. Holly is default, as default can be. Jinx is like a mix of a tiger and then like the top is like a caramel topping, and then Acno is like a tiger with very dark red horns for the crest there. Acno just looks like a bear, or not Acno, Otter looks like a bear, which is always very pretty. I always like that. A sun bear, yes, that's right, that's the kind of bear. Canine, I really don't know what to say. Red rain boots, and you have the blood of your enemies on your body. Mooney is beautiful. Most beautiful bird here. The only bird here. No, I like it. It's very nice. I like the orange on the top. Yeah. I was hoping there'd be more birds, but yeah, it does seem that most people have a Rex or acro. Final gore call. Does anyone want some food? I know I do. I'm half hunger already. If we may, please. Oh no, this is getting demolished. Can we have another, please? Thank you. Oh, and I like Snowybeta's got the green acro going on. That's always nice. Good for camouflage. And Thick over there is looking really nice with the browns and the tan beige. It's got 3 different colors there. Well, I'll go ahead and end it here if no one's got any more questions, and if you feel more comfortable in courting and being an elder, I'm happy that I was able to help you. If you still have questions about any of that or the rest of the profile, you can ask me. As well, I have a whole document on acro profile with acting tips and also definitions for acro's tags, etc., body language tips. you can feel free to DM me asking for the document and I can send it to you. That's good. I hope you guys are more confident. No worries. Yeah, there won't be TPs, but we can go ahead and do a 10-minute safe period for Rexes and Acros to please not hunt each other or get hunted.